Good morning, everybody. It's day 9, and it's walk talk time. Let's begin. All right, so day 9, brisk morning. We're doing a 1-hour session today of interval walking. We have 7 intervals, and we're in our 5-minute warm-up session right now. And that is technically what we do is we do 5 minutes cool, then we do a 3-minute burn session. And so 5-3, 5-3, and we do 7 intervals of that within the hour. That gets us about 53 minutes. And then the additional 7 minutes, we're just in our cool phase, cooling back down, just getting some more steps in. We do this in the morning or in the evening, whatever it is, wherever you can find time to do 1 hour of walking in order to get to our 10,000 step goal for the day. A lot of studies been out there that say if you get over 8,600 steps in a day, it really boosts your metabolism and maximizes fat burning. So we always try to hit 10,000. When you do a 1 hour walk like this, where you're at a faster pace and you do an interval where you go really fast, more speed walk, power walking, it's very easy to obtain a 10,000 step day if you do this and then just go about your day in a normal fashion, normal chores and errands you have to run. Hitting 10,000 steps was very easy to do. I often hit 15, 16,000 steps in a day when I do this. So, in a day like that, where I'm hitting 15, 16,000 steps, I'm burning about 1,600 calories, which is really great. So, I try to do this every day. We're on day 9. I have, hey, this is life. So you miss some days in between there. And that's just kind of natural, Working out shouldn't be something that is a chore. Working out should be something that you want to do. And if you can make it as easy as possible, you're going to do it all the time. And that's what we should be doing, especially if we don't have a lifestyle where we are walking a bunch. I've got office butt, so, getting up and doing this works out really great. We're sitting at about 48 degrees this morning. Not too bad. I will say this, I've developed I think it's more of a knot in my left calf. I'm not sure what that's about, but I am feeling. My wife had to massage it really good yesterday. We have one of those massaging sports guns. If you don't have one of those, get one of them. It's going to be like the best $70 to $100 investment you've done in a long time. So I think because of that, I'm going to have to kind of watch my pace today, but I'm still going to be encouraging you to keep your pace up. So I'm not sure what's going on with that, but I feel pretty good today. So I think maybe I'll just keep it at a little bit more milder pace this morning. We have 40 seconds left in our warm-up session before we start our burn. And we're just about to hit our incline. As always, this seems to be that all my burn phases are during an incline. That's what makes this route really a good one. We've got a lot of diversity on the difficultness of this walk. 10 seconds before we start our burn. So get ready. we go, burn. So now we've got 3 minutes of this. We're going to take longer strides. We're going to pick up our pace. We're going to emphasize on heel, toe, just kind of rolling from the heel to the toe, emphasizing maybe just putting a little bit on the push off with our toes. So if you've been following along, you've seen that I've had some issues with my shoes, and especially in my Achilles area. I got some new shoes and the new shoes gave me really bad blisters on my Achilles tendon, and then just really kept applying. I'd tape them up and do everything, but I kept applying pressure to that tendon, which was making that tendon sore. And that's kind of like the beginning to tendonitis. Once that tendon starts to get sore, it gets inflamed, and then you got tendonitis. And I'm telling you, tendonitis sucks, because once you get it and that tendon is irritated, it's not like a muscle where there's a good amount of blood flow going through there so it can heal itself quick. Tendons, when they get irritated, it takes a long time for that swelling to go back down. I mean, the best thing you can do, honestly, anti-inflammatories, but it's ice. And then just not using it, which is just not practical. So when you do have a tendon issue, you really want to pay attention to it, and you really want to just take care of that. I know this, I'm not a doctor, but I have tore so many tendons in my body. It's insane. I've torn my right hamstring twice, my left hamstring once. I tore a tendon that attaches the muscle that goes from the top of your pelvic all the way down into your inner knee. I tore that tendon off on the top of my pelvic, and it took a chunk of bone off with it, and the x-ray was gnarly. I couldn't walk for weeks and weeks, months. I was using Canadian crutches. I have torn this shoulder. Let me get into that. When I was 16, had to have surgery on that, my right shoulder. About 3 years ago, I did a slap tear on my bicep tendon on my left shoulder, followed up by a bicep tear on that's 10 seconds left in our burn, followed up by, so pick up the pace and just push harder, followed up by a bicep tendon tear on my right shoulder a few months later. I got those all healed. Now we're in our cool session for 5 minutes. I got those all healed. And then a little over a year ago, I'm on the job moving some furniture into a room that one of my clients had rented out for a legal deposition, and there wasn't enough tables and chairs in there. And so I asked the front desk for an hour every 15 minutes, hour prior every 15 minutes going up to when we're supposed to be on the record. And I said, hey, I need tables and chairs in there. We don't have enough of them for everybody that's attending this thing. So, and if it doesn't go, I don't get paid what I should. So about 10 minutes before we're supposed to be on record, maybe even shorter, I go up to the front and say, hey, can I take these lobby chairs? And they said, yeah, sure. I get a couple lobby chairs, which are crazy heavy. You're not supposed to move them. I get them down the hallway and into the room. And then I need another table. And the only thing around was this 4 foot by 2 foot coffee table. Yeah, it was about that thick on the tabletop of concrete and a steel frame. So not supposed to be moved. But hey, you know, I'm 6'2". I'm a big, strong guy. So, yeah, I'm like, I can lift that. And I do. I get it up. I go, turn it on its side to go through the doorway. And boom, I tear my shoulder in like 5 different spots. My right dominant shoulder. I get it in there. I get everything set up. I'm not able to use my right hand at this point. I realize this right away. Room full of people. I've got like 8 people in there. And I just kind of flinched and was all, and no one really said anything because I didn't make that big of a deal of it. And I figured out how to use my left hand for everything I needed to do throughout the rest of that day. And at the end of the day, somehow I was able to pack my stuff up and race myself to the ER. And that started the process. I needed to get some, I knew what I needed. I went to the ER and I was like, well, hey, so not only did I tear the rotator cuff, there's some other things going on in there I'm pretty sure of. And they're like, oh, how can you be sure? I'm like, I tear things a lot. And when you tear tendons, it's a popping noise. You can't, no matter where it is in your body, you can hear it. Not only can you hear it, but obviously you can feel it. There's nothing in your body that ever happens normally that is like that feeling or that sound that you hear. So the best way I can explain it is it's like a super thick rubber band that you're just taking a little a little cut on, and then all of a sudden, pop, it snaps. That's basically what a tendon's like when you snap it. And so I've had a lot of experience with this, and I know what it's like. And I tell you what, pay attention to tendons. I had to have reconstructive surgery. I had to have like 5 different things done on there, including shaving down some of I think it's my clavicle bone. And man, then the next year, totally horrible experience. It took a long time to recover, and now, thank the heavens, I am fully recovered, and now I can get back to lifting weights and things like that. So my arms have gotten flabby. I used to have big arms, now they're just kind of flabby. So a little bit of get back into my dumbbell routine and get my arms bigger again, and strengthen my shoulders. That's the main big thing, because pool season's coming up, and my boys like to be thrown around in the pool. It just, gotta strengthen them up. So the conclusion on that story is, when your body is giving you signals that, hey, something's wrong, you need to pay attention to that. I do want to point out that we are 12 minutes and 35 seconds into this session. We are into our second interval. We are in our cool session, which lasts 5 minutes. We've got about 15 seconds left on that. My calf is now warmed up and feeling a lot better right now. 10 seconds till our burn starts. So that's kind of nice to feel. I'm excited about that. That means that I really have probably a muscular. All right, there's our burn. And now I can do the burn session at the normal pace I would, because that knot that was in my calf has loosened up. And that's what's really important about warming up. Don't jump into things. If things are feeling a little weird, listen to your body, take it easy, let your body warm up, because man, right now, I'd say it is 75% better than it was when I woke up, if not closer to 85%. So, man, right now, I'm actually feeling it's about 90%. So that just means that knot is loosening up and getting back to where it needs to be. So that is a very good sign, and that is a muscle, and more than likely not a tendon. So I'm happy about that. Woo-hoo. So here we go, full extension, heel toe. I'm in a flat right now, so I can get my hips into things a little bit too. And by getting your hips into this movement, it's more of like a speed walk, it looks weird. It really does look weird. That's why I like doing this like really early in the morning. That way no one watches me do this like dance walk thing. But by getting your entire body into each stride, like I feel it in my lower back, right above my buttocks, right above, like where my pelvic is. I feel it above that. And I feel it in my lower abdomen. And, you can even, if you want to feel even a little bit more, you can even kind of emphasis on your abs a little bit and maybe tighten it up, and just make sure you're standing really good vertical, and you just really get into it, right? You shouldn't be really leaning forward too much or anything, because you want to have your follow through on the backside probably almost as long as you do on your front side, meaning your stride. I mean, I don't think your back stride is going to be as long as your front stride, but I'm not sure. I've never really spent a lot of time looking at the biomechanics of it. I'm just going off of like personal experience. At some point in time with this channel, I'd really like to get into the whole biomechanics of what your body's doing, what your foot is doing specifically, and proper shoes for this type of thing, because it is different than running, and you don't need as much cushion, but you need it in the right place. You don't need as much heel cushion, and you don't really want that angle from fat cushion to your toe tip area. You really want to have more of a neutral. At least that's my feeling, you know. And so 10 seconds, push hard. 10 seconds left in the burn, push even harder. Ready? There we go. So I think in a shoe design, when it comes to this, I like to have cushioning because I am a big guy and I don't want my joints to have issues. But I think more of a neutral sole with maybe a zero angle to it, but still have cushioning, but throughout the entire sole is probably a good idea for me, a guy my size, which, you know, I'm 6'2", 290 pounds. So this morning I'm trying something a little bit different. Hopefully we're recording my feet as well. That way you can kind of see the difference in my cool phase to my burn phase stride. Also, I'm trying to think why the calf thing has happened. And after reviewing, we're on day 9 now of this. So after reviewing a bunch of days on the video, and I don't know if it's my stabilizing system that's here, but I notice it almost looks like I'm limping sometimes. But I don't feel like I'm limping. And so that brings up another biomechanical anomaly or something that's not working correctly in my mind. And I've been thinking about it a bunch, and I'm wondering if maybe I have one leg that's a little bit shorter or longer. One of them's going to be shorter, one of them's going to be longer. So I think that might be the case. I remember a chiropractor telling me a long time ago, but this was when I had more of that post-recovery, a couple years from that hip tendon issue I had. And so I was thinking, yeah, maybe I do have, and I believe the chiropractor told me, now granted, this was like 20 years ago, I believe he said, hey, you know, you have one leg that's longer than the other. And he did, I think he said at that time, that can change too throughout time. But what I'm getting at is maybe I need to figure out a way to be able to measure the length of each one of my legs. I don't think I'd be able to do it by myself. I think I'd have to lay down on a bed. I think I'd have to really isolate, you know, my hips and like kind of strap my hips down so my pelvic doesn't move at all. And then really lie my legs down straight and as flat as I can. And then measure from the heel, not so much the foot in total, because you don't want any angle on that, but the heel. So it's like bone on bone on bone, heel, ankle, knee, hip, you know, and then measure and see if there's a difference in the length there. And if there's a difference in the length between the two, I think the way to fix that, yet again, I am not a foot doctor. I am not, I have no true professional medical experience besides just being injured a ton and, you know, getting around that. But I'm thinking the way to overcome this potential difference in length of my legs would be by maybe some insoles, maybe some orthotics. But what would be really cool is to have the same insoles, the same shoe, but have my exterior or my bottom sole that makes contact with the ground, maybe that be a little bit thicker. Now, with that being said, it would give me a different compression rate, and that might cause more problems. So maybe that's not the fix. Maybe the fix is internally with my insole, the orthotics, making up that difference. that probably is the best way to go. So then I would need the custom orthotics and go to a place that can specialize in that type of issue. So, and I don't know, this is what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to go, I saw that pretty close to here in Temecula, there's a place called the Running Center, I think is what it is. I've never been to one, but I would imagine that running center, I did see a picture on their website or Yelp or something like that showing a machine that measures, your foot and everything and the pressure that you're applying on a pad, so they can make you some custom orthotics. Well, my head, I'm just thinking, well, if they already make custom orthotics, they would be the best one to go to for this type of scenario, because I'm sure that this is probably a pretty common thing, maybe having different length legs. So 10 seconds till our burn starts. We're still in our cool phase. 2, 1, and here we go. Let's pick up the pace. Heel toe, heel toe. So I think the running center, I'm going to make a trip there and maybe become friends with this place. I think, I believe the way it works is it's kind of like a membership type thing. And, you get points and everything for participating and buying things. So I think I'm going to sign up for that today, see what that's all about, and maybe hit it up this week. And who knows, that might be a very common place we visit. And, if you guys find interest in that, maybe I'll talk with them and see if I can bring you guys in on that experience as well, and allow the cameras and microphones in there. So we'll see. Heel toe, full extensions. So I'm not sure what my stride length is, but it's pretty long. I've got long legs. I really do have long legs. I have long legs and kind of a shorter torso for my height, but that's okay. So hopefully the camera is picking this up. I have a additional camera on board right now, so I'll be switching back and forth from the footage from this camera up top to one down below. We've been on like a flat angle throughout this burn. 1 minute and 22 seconds left, but now we're going on a downhill. So my stride's going to change a little bit. A little bit later in the morning than usual. Like I said, I pre-record these things, so sometimes on the weekdays, I'm not able to get out during the light. And so I do it from like 4 to 5 a.m. Today, I was able to wait a little bit because it is Saturday for me, but you won't see this until Monday. And because my goal is really to have 5 days a week of doing this walking, at least. And if I could fit extra days on the weekend, I will. But I do like walking in the morning. I used to have a whole routine about my light cycle and everything, and I would watch the sunrise and I would stretch in my backyard on a little green putting green on a pad. I would stretch in the morning, have my coffee, and turn on some ambient music on my headset, and I'd watch the sun come up. 10 seconds left on the burn, so let's push even harder that last 10 seconds. Anyway, I'm a big one on light cycles.
Ready?
I think the light cycles from daytime to nighttime and the whole experience of like the sun coming up, that helps out with our mood. It helps out with just kind of everything we do. It helps set the pace for the day. I feel it helps me fall asleep earlier. I mean, not earlier, but easier. Helps me stay awake at my home studio where I work from 99% of the time. I've got LED panels that are really high up, and that helps me kind of simulate daytime sun, and it helps my cycle to where I'm able to stay awake too. And that's kind of a little cheat that I have, is if I start to fall asleep or get a little tired, besides obviously having some sort of caffeine or coffee, if I just look up instead of down and I look at those lights for just a few moments throughout the day, it helps keep me awake. As soon as I look down, say at my cell phone, I start to get sleepy and tired. So if I see myself doing that, or if I'm looking down at paperwork or something, then I know, hey, I'm getting sleepy. Let's look up at the lights for a second, bring that in, and that wakes me up. But I am a big fan on the idea of light cycles, and I think light cycles are very important. I think if you can, first thing in the morning, as you wake up within the first hour, it's probably even sooner than that would be better to get some exposure to some bright lights to help wake you up and do your light cycle, start your day off. I think that's really advantageous for you. So I've always felt a difference for that. And there's a lot of studies out there and a lot of people that have been pushing that throughout the years. There's a lot of different things you can do to just kind of helps out with your mental mood and your energy level. And I think it's maybe your cortisol levels and everything, the stress and everything, kind of lowers all that. Yet again, I'm not a doctor. I'm just a guy that, tries these things out for a good period of time. And if it works, it makes sense to me, all right, I keep at it. If it doesn't, I say, all right, that's a bunch of witchery and gibberish that doesn't actually work. But that's not the case with a lot of these things. I tell you what, that's what's great about YouTube. YouTube, there's so many great people on there talking about different things you do for physical, mental health. I love it. It's great. And at some point in time here, I'll refer back to some of the people that I follow because they really know what they're talking about, and they are doctors, so I get a lot of my stuff from some really good sources. Doing a little bit of a different route this morning just because it's the daytime and I don't have to get, this is what's great about the weekends, I don't have to get back at a certain time to get the kids up out of bed, get them dressed, get them fed, and get them off to school. So I enjoy my weekend sessions a little bit more, or my off day sessions when I don't have to do that, just because I'm not stressed out on time. So I take in what I can when I can. We got 1 minute and 25 seconds left on our cool session before our burn session kicks into play. One thing that is different too, walking along the road like this during the day is, and I'm sure it's not good for me, but I do smell the exhausts of the vehicles a lot more, especially on kind of like a calm day where there's not a breeze. I don't know if that's good, but hey, it is what it is. So hopefully this comes out a little different, maybe a little more stable than it has in the past. I'm trying something a little bit different. This camera has a really cool function to it, to where it has an auto tracking feature, and so it has a 3-axis gimbal on there, and when I have that auto tracking feature on there, it really activates that gimbal, and hopefully it's a little bit steadier. All right, we've got 9 seconds left on our cool session. We're about to start our burn session again for 3 minutes. There we go. Let's pick up the pace. Heel toe, full extension. Just really pump up the pace. If you're not getting long strides, just pump that pace up. Let's get our heart rate going. I really want to burn get a sweat going. I like it when I sweat. So let's pick it up. I'm trying to get in a little more steps this morning, so I'm actually going around places I don't normally go. My goal is to hit a solid 7,000 steps, hopefully today. So on this session anyway. I was speaking to my wife about it last night, and about how I want to change my office setup. And I want to install the telescoping electric legs that raise your desk up for a standing desk. I want to do that. I want to be able to have the option to do that or sit down. But I think when I'm standing, my back feels better. I have degenerative disc disease, which is truly not a disease. It's really just, you wore out. So I think it's my L4 and my L5 vertebrae are just stacked right on top of each other. So that nice little cushion that sits in between your vertebrae, it is jacked up. It is like so much squish. And sometimes, depending on how I lay, I end up getting not necessarily sciatica, because I think sciatica like kind of shoots down to your legs and you have a burning sensation. I have had that before, but it's not something to commonly get. But what I do get is when I lay on my right side in bed, and if I have my arm kind of like on my side, you know, in the air, the top part of my hand goes numb. And it's only when I lay on my side, no other time. And so I'm thinking that there's a little pressure that's applied to a nerve in my back when this is happening. And I'm on my incline, so my pace looks a little different probably. My stride looks a little different, I would imagine. But so that's because the discs are just like right there, and I think what happens is I think that cushion is pushing to a nerve, you know, it's like squishing out, and it just is what it is. 10 seconds left in the burn. You know, I've had a lot of friends in the medical industry.
Ready?
So, now 5 minutes in our cool session. I've had a lot of friends in the medical industry tell me, hey, figure out another way to fix your back. Surgery should be a last option, and it should be your only option, because I guess the success rate for fixing your issue is very, very low with surgery. And a lot of times it actually ends up creating more issues that you really resent. So I don't want that. So everybody says strengthen your core, and it'll help this out. So I don't have a lot of time in my day. So I'm just hoping that this more aggressive interval walking is going to help my core. And to be fair, it already has. Like, I feel it. So, but with the stand-up desk, I can get the kind of a newer thing that's been out, and it's walking treadmills. They're smaller, they're shorter in length, because you're not doing full, you know, running, jogging strides. They're narrower from left to right, because you're not doing anything aggressive. You're really just kind of getting steps in as you're standing there. So we're gonna change up the office maybe next month, and I'm hoping at that point I'll be able to easily hit 20,000 steps a day on days that I do this, and then just my normal day, you know, I mean, if in an hour we're getting 7,000 steps or close to that, I easily hit 10,000 steps, not even really doing anything else. So here's where we make a difference in our routine. I usually go that way, has a tiny little incline, but today I'm going straight up this hill for a constant. This is a constant incline all the way until I get up to a stop sign up there. So our heart rate's going to be increased, elevated throughout this stretch, which is probably about, I'd say maybe a half mile, maybe somewhere under that. And it's going to be a constant incline. So by the time I get up there with an increased pace, I am going to be huffing and puffing. So excuse me possibly coughing. I have just a little sickness going on. 'Tis a season, apparently. Speed limit 40 miles an hour. That's what the sign says. I am going way below that. Minute 35 left in our cool session. Cool phase. Yeah, my calf feels good. Man, that makes me feel I'm so happy about that. I gotta be honest with you. I was really stressed out. One, I don't like it. I don't like injuries and these little aches and pains and, cuts and blisters getting in the way of me walking. I'm really adamant about hitting my sessions as often as I can. But two, obviously, you don't want to be injured. So we should be stretching early in the morning and warming things up, but that's why that 5-minute warm up is pretty crucial. I mean, honestly, it'd be better if you had a 10-minute warm up. And I think, but maybe I'll get into that at a later point in time. I'm really trying to keep to like as close to a full hour I can of this 5-3 interval. And unfortunately, if I add more to it, it'll go over an hour. And my goal is to really have an hour of this. All right, we've got 10 seconds left before our burn starts. There we go. Burn is on. Let's keep up the pace. All right. Ooh, this one's gonna get me. It just got steeper. This is awesome. Not having to use my hands for any of this. Hopefully this footage comes out good. If it did, I just came up with an awesome stable system for this. Hopefully you're seeing my feet. Ooh, I'm gonna push it. Not talking as much is a little bit harder for me. Just about to hit the summit here in a minute. Ooh. All right. I did it. There's the summit. Keep that pace up. Heel toe. Full extension if you can. We have 1:10 left on the burn phase. We're on 5 out of 7 intervals right now. 10 seconds left in the burn. Push harder. Ready? That was a good one. It was a new route. Coming back. I think we're gonna get more steps in today for sure. It worked out really good. Now we have 5 minutes of the cool phase. Just normal walking. I think, it's been known fluctuating your heart rate also does so much for you. So I'm not a big fan of jogging anymore. I used to jog all the time. I loved running. It was a big part of my life. But I was in my 20s and my joints were just stronger. My whole body was stronger. So it was just a different time in life. And the dad bod, that's definitely kicked in. So for me, jogging's not really something I can do. And that's just kind of where I'm at in life. Physically, I really can't I work for myself, so I don't get paid days off. I don't get sick leave. So I work whether I'm hurt or not, or I'm sick or not. And if I hurt myself, it makes doing my job harder to do. And then just being a dad and a husband and just doing normal house chores too. So walking is a safer bet for me. But walking alone, believe it or not, yeah, I'm a big guy, but I got a lot of extra pounds on me. But I'm fitter than just walking. Like, walking is great, but I need to increase my heart rate to be alive. So that's why I feel interval sessions like this, that's where it's at. I love this. When I get back, now, we're 9 days into it. My sessions, when I return, my cool down, the time it takes my body to cool down for me to catch my breath and everything, it's way quicker than it was on day one. So physically, my stamina's increased already. Let's be honest. My stamina on everything has increased, and that just happens. Your drive, especially like intimate drive, your intimate stamina. You don't need to take any weird pills or do anything funny that could potentially harm you. Man, just get a good cardiovascular thing that's not killing your body. Stick to that for a week or two. Next thing you know, you're going to be a love machine. Maybe too much information, but hey, you need to know all the things that happen from working out. We're on interval 6 out of 7 with 1 minute and 10 seconds left on our cool phase. So this last interval is going to be on the incline again, I would imagine, for our burn. That's all right. No pain, no gain. They say it's supposed to rain today and rain tomorrow, which I hope not, because I'm supposed to be recording a video for Mr. Flavorsmith where I'm smoking up 3 racks of ribs, some St. Louis style pork ribs. Boy, oh boy, they're gonna be good with some pecan wood. Woo! Over some hardwood lump coal. Using some Meat Church hickory seasoning. It's tasty stuff. I used it last weekend on some ribs, and whew, that was a hit. 10 seconds till we start our burn. There we go. Let's pick it up. We've got 3 minutes of the burn. Long strides, heel toe. Pick up the pace. Let's get sweating. Got 3 minutes of this. I'm on a flat section right now. This is really nice. So I'm able to get my hips into this and do kind of more my speed walk style, which I know it's still not because I'm not able to lock my legs out really good. And I think that's what you do when you speed walk. So this is kind of like a combo, maybe a power speed walk. Morning dove. It is a beautiful morning. You guys want to check it out? I'm going to pop you off. We're going handheld. That's what I'm looking at. This truly is a really beautiful walk in the morning as the sun's coming up. All right, put you guys back on. There we go. Here comes that incline. This is the last final incline. 45 seconds left on the burn. Let's really keep that pace up. "47 minutes have elapsed in our session today. So good job. Almost done. Ten seconds left. Pick up the pace. Push hard, push hard. Ready? Okay. Burn session done. That was the last one for the day. So now we're in our cool session. 48 minutes left. So we got 5 minutes with this. It's going to put us at 53 minutes. And then we're going to do another 7 minutes of just cool down, walking to get our steps in to round up our hour-long session for the day. Almost to the summit. 4 minutes left to go in this current cool phase. Man, I wish I could play some music, but there's always that licensing issue when I post this to YouTube. I know what I need to do. I need to get some royalty-free workout music on a little portable player. Put a speaker on my back, a little Bluetooth speaker. Do it that way. Oh, that might be cool. And then if I have the royalty free, or if I have the licensing rights for that, that would be pretty cool. Tell me, would you guys enjoy to listen to some music? Kind of keep us pumped up and going? Or do you like to hear me talking? I'm not trying to make this channel about me. I'm just trying to share some personal experiences in life, give some advice, and, maybe not just help you guys out with motivation to get out and be fit, but maybe I can help you out in your personal life some way. Just from, listening to some of my experiences. Because I tell you what, at 43 years old, I've been involved in so many different things in life. I've been in all over the world. I have been in many different types of business, entertainment industry stuff, real world stuff. I've gone from wealth to not wealth to wealth, that up and down roller coaster that you do as an entrepreneur. And it's kind of like my family motto, basically. Start from nothing, create something. Some things work, some things don't work, but just getting back up every time you get knocked down, getting back up on your feet and just pushing and pushing. You never fail when you do that. You might think there's failures, but those failures, that's experience, that's knowledge. You might know what not to look out for again, if that same scenario happens or whatever it is. And then, to be fair, different parties involved, different scenarios, even if it seems like it's the same thing, with different people at play or different places, things change. And what didn't work before, but you felt had some sort of sureness, it probably will with this next thing, even if that situation feels similar. So I think the biggest failure, all right, here comes 53 minutes. So as soon as this hits, I'll get back to that second, 2, 1. All right. We are gonna keep going with the timer. Bear with me. There we go. All right, so go. That's perfect. So what I was saying was, truly, the biggest failure in life is not trying, not getting up and doing it, whatever that is. Whether it's working out, whether it's, a person that you love, and you need to find a way to tell them that you love them, or, a business situation, where it's like, man, I know this is the right path for me to do, but it's scary because I'm over here, but I'm not happy over here. I know I'll be happy over here, but it's something new. You live once, as far as I see it, in this form on this planet. You might come back again. Who knows? I don't know the answers to this in another life. But right now, in this body, in this form, you've got one shot at it. And yeah, we might make it 100 years. Those last 20 years probably aren't going to be that great a quality of life. So get up and do whatever it is you want to do right now. You don't want to be laying down on your deathbed going, I wish I would have done more. Or older, saying, I wish I would have done more, but I needed to have my savings for this and everything. I mean, yes, you do need to have financial stability, no doubt about it. But sometimes just living life that's even more important because, hey, it could end at any point in time. And we're on to the next phase of our being. Who knows? So just get up and do it. If it was easy, nobody would get anywhere. It's the things that are hard that make the differences. So, whew. It's been a good morning. Now it's time to get the family up, going, getting them ready for the day. All right, we are 50. Where are we at? Let me think about this real quick. 55 minutes into it. Just about to hit 56. 4 minutes left in our 1 hour session. And don't bail out yet. Let's just wait until we get back to where we started, and I'll pull out our numbers, and I'll check my pedometer, my 2 pedometers I have going, and see what our steps were at for the day. All right, here we are, back in my community, just about 4 houses away, 5 houses away. It's a downhill. I have to be honest with you, I don't feel like I gave it as much as I should have today. And the reason why I say that, well, it's either that or something cooler is even happening. The reason why I say that is I'm not as hot as I normally am. And to be fair, I'm wearing a similar outfit I wear every morning. And it's a little bit warmer this morning, which makes me think one of 2 things. Number 1, I didn't put as much into it as I normally do. Number 2, maybe I'm just getting fitter, day 9 after this. So it could be a combination of both. And hold on, folks. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Boom. All right. That is the end for today. Let's check our stats and kind of see what we did. Whew. So it's really weird. On the watch, it takes a little bit for things to populate, but we'll see if I can pull this out. So basically, I just have this sits inside my compression pants. So let me put my thing in here. Let's see where we're at. Ooh, it's really hard to hold. All right, here we go. All right, so for this, it says we did 9,322 steps, and we went 5.86 miles. Okay, now I did wake up with this on my arm, and I walked around the house this morning to get ready. Not very much, just a little bit. So now, let's see what the pedometer said. So we were over 9,000 steps. So that's accumulative for my day so far. So, but in total for this session, maybe we'll go off this pedometer. And so this says 6,392 steps, not quite 6,400 steps. I have to be fair. I don't know if I really trust this pedometer. This was something I got off of Walmart. And so I think I'm going to try to go acquire a better pedometer maybe today, because I like having both, set, like my cumulative for the day on my iWatch, and then also I like to have it just for that session, but I don't feel that this is dead accurate. I really do feel we've done more steps than that. And if we haven't done more steps than that, I want to do more steps. But anyway, hey, as every day, if you got any value out of this today, please do me a huge favor, like this video and subscribe to the channel. It really does help me produce more valuable content like this for you in the future. And until next time, have a great day and go smash that 10,000 steps or better. You can do it.